Good evening, students. In our today's session, I'm going to teach you a poem, Confessions of a Born Spectator, written by Ogden Nash. Have you ever heard about the poet Ogden Nash? Ogden Nash was an American poet, well known for his light verse. What is the poem? What is the title of the poem? Confessions of a Born Spectator. Let us read the poem. One infant grows up and becomes a jockey, another plays basketball or hockey. This one, the prize free, hates to enter. That one becomes a tackle or center. I am just glad, as glad can be, that I am not them, that they are not me. With all my heart, I do admire athletes who sweat for fun or hire, who take the field in gaudy form and mind each other as they run. My limp and bashful spirit feeds on other people's heroic deeds. Now, A runs for 90 yards to score, B knocks the champion to the floor, cracking vertebrae and spine, slashes his steed across the line. You would think my ego it would please to swap positions with one of these. Well, ego it might be pleased enough, but zealous athletes play so rough, they do not ever in the dealings consider one another's feelings. I am glad that when my struggle begins, twixt prudence and ego, prudence wins. When swollen eye meets snarl fist, when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, when officialdom demands, is there a doctor in the stands? My soul in true thanksgiving speaks for this modest of physique. Athletes, I'll drink to you or eat with you or anything except compete with you. Buy tickets for the radium to watch you gamble in the stadium and reassure myself and you that you are not me and I am not you. This is the poem. So, what is the how many lines does this poem have? This poem has 37 lines and consists of 6 stanzas. First 5 stanzas have 6 lines, and what about the last stanza? Last stanza has 7 lines. Now I'll explain the first stanza. One infant grows up and becomes a jockey, another plays basketball or hockey. This one, the prize ring hates to enter, that one becomes a tackle or center. I am just glad as glad can be that I am not them, that they are not me. So this is the first stanza. So before understanding stanza number 1, let us know about the title of the poem. Confessions of a Born Spectator. So what do you know? What do you get from the title? What is the message conveyed by the poet through this title? The poet says that the narrator, what is that? The narrator is a spectator. He's a born spectator. Okay, so this poem is related to sports. You know that, I think. One infant grows up and becomes a jockey, another plays basketball or hockey. What do you mean by that? So the poet tells about some person, somebody, some ex. He says, if anybody is interested, if a child is interested in becoming a horse rider, he is getting the training and he becomes a jockey. Jockey means horse rider. So if some other person, or just think about some other person, he wants to become a basketball player or hockey player, because of his hard work and training, and he becomes the player in that particular respective sports. This one, the pricing hates to enter, that one becomes a tackle or center. Somebody, he doesn't want to become a boxer. He doesn't want to enter inside the boxing field, boxing ring. Price ring is nothing but boxing ring. Okay. And some other person, he is very much interested in boxing and he becomes a trained boxer and he knows how to tackle the opponent, and he becomes some other person, he becomes a referee to. Okay. I am just glad can be that I am not them, that they are not me. So what is the meaning of the last line? That I am not them, that they are not me. So the poet says he conveys his happiness in the way that he's very much happy for how the players are playing their games. And one important thing is there. What is that? He feels happy for them. But at the same time, he's not a player. He says the fact again and again. He is not one among the players. He's not a player. He is only a spectator. He feels happy he feels happy after watching their games. Clear? So this is the first answer. If a person wants to become a horse rider, he becomes horse rider in his life. If he wants to shine in his life as a hockey player or basketball player, he becomes. If a person wants to become a boxer, he becomes a boxer in his life because of his training. So, but as far as this poet is concerned, he is not at all. No, he doesn't want to become a player at all. Rather, he feels happy for watching sports. Just he feels happy only by watching the sports played by the sportsmen, how they are playing their games. Now look at the second stanza. With all my heart, I do admire athletes who sweat for fun or hire, who take the field in gaudy form and mind each other as they run. My limp and bashful spirit feeds on other people's heroic deeds. This is the second stanza. He says, no, what is the thing? So, with all my heart, I do admire. From the bottom, the poet says, from the bottom of his heart, he likes games played by the athletes or sportsmen. Okay. So they may play either for fun or for money. So that is not the reason. That is not important. The reason there may be various reasons why they are playing, why they are involved in the particular sports. There may be various reasons. So he doesn't bother about the reasons, but the poet, what is the thing? He appreciates them from the bottom of his heart, sincerely. Who take the field in gaudy form. So they just come to the playground in showy dress, colorful dress, and mind each other as they romp. What do you mean by that? And they attack or injure others because they play rough games. They play games in a noisy way. They play rough games in a noisy way so that they injure each other. Okay. My limp and bashful spirit feeds on other people's heroic deeds. The poet says he has a spirit which is very weak, shy, and reluctant. So that there is no need for him to take part in any of the sports or games. Rather, his spirit becomes satisfied. He feels satisfied only by watching the sports or games played by the athletes or sportsmen. So what is the message conveyed by the poet in stanza number 2? He appreciates them sincerely for the sports played by them, for the games played by them. He doesn't care about the reason, why they are playing, what is the reason behind that. He doesn't care about that, but he appreciates them. So what is the important point conveyed by the poet in the last 2 lines of stanza number 2? He feels satisfied. He feels happy for the sports or games played by them, because he conveys that he has weak spirit. Okay, he doesn't want to play any sort of sports or games. Now look at stanza number 3. Now A runs 90 yards to score. B knocks the champion to the floor, cracking vertebrae and spines, lashes his steed across the line. You would think my ego, it would please to swap positions with one of these. This is the third stanza number 3. Now again, the poet speaks about somebody, some X. So some player, for say, let it be X. Some X player. He takes part in running race and he wins. What about other player B? Some Y. What is he doing? So he is more powerful than the champion. He knocks the champion to the floor, thereby cracking the backbone of the champion. So he is very powerful. So player B, we don't know about the names of the players, but we are given a clue, some X or some Y, some A, some B, like that. So A is winning in the running race. What is the condition of B? B is more talented than the champion. Okay. Lashes his steed across the line. So just he makes a horse run across the line by beating with the B. You would think my ego, it would please to swap positions with one of these. So by admiring talented players, no, he says there is a question, there's a doubt that comes in the mind of the poet. What is that? Whether he will be interested, whether the poet will be interested to swap or change his position with them. Is there any possibility to change or swap the position with any of the players he likes? So this is the question asked by the poet. He asked this question to himself in stanza number 3, and the answer is given in stanza number 4. So what is the message conveyed by the poet in stanza number 3? He speaks about some victorious players, let it be running race or some other game. No, he speaks about the talents of some successful players, and after seeing the spirit of them, will he be interested to change his position? Is there any wish in his mind to become a player? That is the question. Look at stanza number 4. Well, ego, it might be pleased enough, but zealous athletes play so rough. They do not ever in the dealing consider one another's feelings. I am glad that when the struggle begins, twixt prudence and ego prudence. So we know there is a question. We know that there is a question in the mind of the poet to exchange whether he will be interested to exchange his position with any of the players. Okay. He says in stanza number 4, the players who are very much talented, no, they'll be enthusiastic. They'll be enthusiastic athletes. They'll be enthusiastic players. They are zealous players. So they play rough games, tough games, difficult games. They do not ever in their dealings consider one another's feelings. So they'll be more focused. They'll be completely focused on the game only. They don't care about others' feelings, how his opponent, how a particular person is playing, whether he's injured, what is the problem he has. No, he doesn't. That player, one who is very much ambitious, no, he doesn't care about, or she doesn't care about other persons who is playing with him or with her. So they don't care about, they don't consider one another's feelings. I am glad that when my struggle begins, twixt prudence and ego prudence. So there, he says his ego will be pleased, will be happy if he becomes a successful player. And there is a doubt. I already told you in stanza number 3 whether he will support his ego or prudence, whether to think wisely and act wisely instead of blindly supporting ego. So I will be a successful player. He is very much talented. He is a successful player. I will also be a successful. I cannot choose like that because I know who am I, what I can do, what is my talent, where I can shine. So I have to choose according to my own taste and strength. So here the poet says he cannot blindly support ego because he thinks, he uses his mind, he supports his prudence, he supports wisdom. So he thinks according to his wish. So he knows that he cannot shine in any of their games. Okay, because in the stanza number 2 itself, last 5th line, look at 5th line of stanza 2. He says he has limp and bashful spirit, very weak, shy and reluctant spirit. So already a clue is given. Am I right? I hope you will understand. So here he supports prudence, he supports wisdom. So he doesn't want to satisfy his ego. Look at stanza number 5. When swollen eye meets gnarled fist, when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, and when officialdom demands, is there a doctor in the stands? My soul in true thanksgiving speaks for this modest of. So just the thing is explained clearly in stanza number 5. What is that? When somebody is injured severely in a match or sports event, what is the condition? When someone is injured severely by a rough or twisted fist, okay, or when there is a split in the knee or wrist of a person because of the rough game played by the opponent, what will happen? The features, they'll call the doctor to attend the person immediately. According to the condition of the player, they will ask the doctor to attend him immediately or attend her immediately. My soul in true thanksgiving speaks for this modest of physics. So after seeing such a thing, after seeing such things, he thanks, what is the thing? I'm not having such a strong body. So there is no need for me to become a player. So he says, he thanks himself for not having a strong body. My soul in true thanksgiving speaks for this modest of physics. I'm not having such a strong body. So his soul identifies his strengths and he thanks himself for not becoming a player because he has a weak body. Stanza number 6. Am I right? Athletes, I will drink to you or eat with you or anything except compete with you. Buy tickets worth their radium to watch you gamble in this stadium and reassure myself anew that you are not me and I am not you. What is the thing? So the key says he calls them athletes, players. He addresses them. Okay, I will drink to you. I will be happy. I will celebrate your victory. Either by drinking or dining with you, I'll enjoy. I'll make a special moment for your victory or anything except compete with you. I'm ready to do anything for you, for to appreciate you, to celebrate your victory instead of playing with you. I don't want to. He says he doesn't want to become a player. He doesn't want to compete with any of those players. Okay, buy tickets worth their radium. He is ready to buy tickets from his pocket by spending money from his pocket according to the worth of that player. Okay, if he is very much interested in that particular game, if he likes the player very much, he'll be ready to buy the ticket. He doesn't care about the money he spends for buying the ticket. He's very much interested in buying the ticket, but he doesn't want to play with that player. To watch you gamble in the stadium, how the player is running or jumping or doing such things in that field, playground, and reassure myself anew that you are not me and I am not you. So he feels happy for being a spectator by buying tickets, by enjoying their special moments after seeing their victory, by celebrating the victory of the players. Okay, he is very much pleased to do such things, but last line speaks that he is very much different from them. He is not a player. He is only a spectator. He is not one among the players. He is not them and they are not him. They are players and he is only a spectator. This is the poem. So what do you know about this poem? What do you understand from the poem? So though the poet knows he likes sports or games or athletic events, but he appreciates them. He appreciates them wholeheartedly. He supports them. He goes to various matches. He buys tickets, but he doesn't want to take part in any of the games. He knows the rules, what they are playing, how they are playing. So he knows each and everything related to that particular game, but he doesn't want to become a player. Of how they are playing rough games, they attack each other, they injure each other, but after becoming a player, a particular person will not know. He doesn't care about other person, what is there in his mind, how that person is attacked. So they don't care about that. So he doesn't want to become a, after seeing such things, no, he doesn't want to become a player. Rather, he celebrates their victory. He supports them wholeheartedly. So this is what conveyed by the poet in the poem. What is the title? Confessions of a Born Spectator. Now let us learn some literary devices from the poem. The first one is onomatopoeia. We already explained you what is that. Onomatopoeia is a figure of speech in which words are used to imitate the sound. Words are used to imitate the sound. Here we can find what is that? In the line, look at stanza number 5, second line. When snaps the knee and cracks the wrist. So it is a very good example of the literary device onomatopoeia. Okay. So what is that? Yes. Is there anything else apart from this? Alliteration is used by the poet. What do you mean by alliteration? The repetition of usually initial consonant sounds in nearby words. So I already told you. So what is the example? Can you give some example from this poem? Stanza number 5. Which line? 5th line. My soul in true thanksgiving speaks. Okay. So that is an example of alliteration. What about the other device? Okay. Anaphora is there. Anaphora. What do you mean by anaphora? Repetition of initial words. Repetition of initial words. So example, same stanza number 5. When swollen eye meets snarl fist, when snaps the knee and cracks the wrist, when officialdom demands. So in all these, the first 3 lines of stanza number 5, when is repeated. Okay, this is a very good example of anaphora. There is one another literary device used by the poet. What is it? Personification. What do you know about that? Attribution of human characteristics to things, abstract ideas, etc. for literary effect. What is that? What do you know about personification? Attribution of human characteristics to things, abstract ideas, etc. for literary effect. So here, can you give some example for this? Might be pleased enough. Prudence wins, ego it might be. So look at stanza number 4. Last line of stanza number 4 is prudence wins. This is an example of personification. Can you guess a rhyme scheme used by the poet in this poem? In the first 5 stanzas, what is the rhyme scheme used by the poet? Yes, I told you there are 6 lines in the first 5 stanzas. So A, B, C, C. In the first 5 stanzas, A, B, C, A. Good. Okay. What is the aim of the poet? Yeah.
He wants to celebrate the people.
Yeah, he celebrates the victorious athletes, heroic deeds of the athletes and sportsmen. He admires them wholeheartedly. That is the aim. What is the theme? Yeah. The poet explains how they are playing their rough games. And he states that he doesn't want to become a player because of the way and how they are playing their games after seeing such things. Okay. நான் இப்ப தமிழ்ல இதை எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணிடுறேன். ஓகே, கன்ஃபெஷன்ஸ் ஆஃப் அ பாண்ட் ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர் நம்ம சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, ஒருத்தர் வந்து கன்ஃபெஷன் அப்படின்னா கன்ஃபெஷன் ஏமா ஒரு உண்மை நிலைய வந்து வெளிப்படையா சொல்றது, அதாவது வாக்குமூலம் எல்லாம் சொல்ல கன்ஃபெஷன் சொல்லுவோம். கன்ஃபெஷன்ஸ் ஆஃப் அ பாண்ட் ஸ்பெக்டர்னா அவருடைய நிலைமைய வந்து ஒரு விளக்கமா சொல்றாரு. என்ன அப்படின்னா, இஸ் ஒன்லி அ ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர். பாண்ட் ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர் அப்படின்னா என்ன அர்த்தம்? இப்ப நம்ம சொல்றோம் யாராவது ஒருத்தர் அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணோம்னா இஸ் அ பாண்ட் ஆக்டர்னு சொல்றோம். ஆனா அவர் வந்து அப்ப அதுக்கு என்ன மீனிங்? பாண்ட் ஆக்டர்னா ரொம்ப நல்லா ஆக்ட் பண்றாரு, ரொம்ப சூப்பரா ஆக்ட் பண்றாரு அப்படின்னா என்ன பண்றோம்? பாண்ட் ஆக்டர்னு சொல்றோம். இங்க பாண்ட் ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர்னா என்ன? பறக்கிறது அப்படியே பார்த்து ரசிக்கிறதுக்கு தான் அவர் இருக்காரு தவிர பிளேயர் ஆகிறதுக்கு அவர் விரும்பல. அதுதான் அந்த டைட்டில் நமக்கு சொல்றது. நம்ம ஆல்ரெடி பார்த்துட்டோம். 6 ஸ்டான்ஸா இருக்குன்னு நமக்கு தெரியும். சோ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆன்சர்ல அவர் எதை பத்தி பேசுறாரு? யாருக்காவது ஒரு சின்ன குழந்தைக்கு வந்து ஹார்ஸ் ரைடர் ஆகணும்னா அதுக்கு ட்ரைனிங் எடுத்து அது வந்து ஹார்ஸ் ரைடர் ஆகுது. இல்ல ஒரு ஹாக்கி பிளேயரோ பாஸ்கெட் பால் பிளேயரோ ஆகணும்னா அதுல வந்து விளையாடி விளையாடி அது அந்த மாதிரி ஆயிடுது. யாருக்காவது பாக்ஸர் ஆகணும்னு ஆசை இருக்கும், ஒரு சிலருக்கு பாக்ஸர் ஆகவே பயமா இருக்கும். சோ அவளுக்கு என்ன விருப்பமோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி அவங்க பண்றாங்க இல்லையா? ஆனா இவரோட விருப்பம் என்னன்னா, இவர் வந்து இவரோட நிலைமையில இருக்க, இவர் வந்து ஜஸ்ட் ஸ்பெக்டேட்டரா இருக்க, பிளேயர் ஆக்குறதுக்கு விரும்பல அப்படின்னு சொல்றாரு. சரியா? செகண்ட் ஸ்டான்ஸால என்ன சொல்றாரு? அவளை ரொம்ப அட்மயர் பண்றாரு. எனக்கு வந்து அவளை ரொம்ப பிடிச்சிருக்கவா, எப்படி இவ்வளவு டேலண்டடா விளையாடுறாங்க, அவங்க என்ன ரீசனுக்கு வந்தாலும் தெரியும், ஆனா வந்து அவங்க விளையாடுறது எனக்கு இவ்வளவு காடி ஃபார்ம் ஷோய் ட்ரெஸ்ல வரா, அதெல்லாம் ஓகே தான். ஆனா வந்து எப்படி அவங்க ரஃப் கேம்ஸ் விளையாடி அடுத்தவாளை இன்ஜூர் பண்றா. சோ இதெல்லாம் பாக்குறச்சே என்னோட வீக் ஸ்பிரிட் வந்து சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை ஆயிடுது. நான் வந்து ரொம்ப அவளை கூட சேர்ந்து விளையாடணும்னு எனக்கு வந்து ஆசை இல்ல, அதை பார்த்தாலே எனக்கு திருப்தி ஆயிடுறது அப்படின்னு செகண்ட் ஸ்டான்ஸ் சொல்றேன். தேர்ட் ஸ்டான்ஸ்ல என்ன சொல்றோம்? யாருக்காவது ரொம்ப வெரி டேலண்டடா ஒரு பர்சன் இருக்காரு, சம் எக்ஸ் சம் ஏ அப்படின்னு வச்சுக்கலாம். அவர் ரன்னிங் ரேஸ்ல பார்ட்டிசிபேட் பண்ணி ஜெயிக்கிறார். இன்னொருத்தர் என்ன பண்றாரு, சாம்பியனே வந்து கவுக்குற அளவுக்கு அவருக்கு ரொம்ப டேலண்ட் இருக்கு. சரியா? அவரோட முதுகெலும்பெல்லாம் உடைக்கிற அளவுக்கு அந்த அளவுக்கு டேலண்டடா அவர் வந்து பண்றாரு. இப்ப இவரோட ஈகோன்னு ஒண்ணு இருக்குல்ல, நம்ம எல்லாருக்குமே அந்த ஒரு ஈகோன்னு ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்கு. நான் ஒரு அகங்காரம், நான் ஒரு மமதைன்னு ஒண்ணு இருக்கும் இல்லையா? சோ இவரோட ஈகோவை பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் அதுல ஒரு கொஸ்டின் அவருக்கு இருக்கு. நமக்கு வந்து அவ மாதிரி பிளேயர் ஆகணுமா, இவருக்கு கேம்ஸ் எல்லாம் பிடிச்சிருக்கு, அத்லெட்டிக் ஈவெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் பிடிச்சிருக்கு, நமக்கு அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ்மேன் ஆகணுமா அப்படின்னா அவரு வந்து அது கிளியரா அவர் எதுல கன்வே பண்றாரு? ஸ்டான்ஸா நம்பர் 4ல அவள் மாதிரி நம்மளும் ஒரு பிளேயர் ஆகணும்னு எனக்கு ஆசை, அவ கூட என்னோட இடத்த மாத்திக்கணும்னு ஆசையா இருக்கான்னு அவரே கொஸ்டின் கேட்டு ஸ்டான்ஸா நம்பர் 4ல சொல்றாரு. என்ன சொல்றாரு? அவளை பாக்குறதுக்கு வந்து சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. இவரை வந்து விளையாடினா வெறும் அவளை மாதிரி ஒரு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் பிளேயரா இருந்தா இவரோட ஈகோ வந்து ரொம்ப சாட்டிஸ்ஃபைடா இருக்கும். ஆனா வந்து அவ வந்து எப்படி விளையாடுறாங்க, எந்தூசியாஸ்டிக்கா விளையாடுறா. அப்ப வந்து அவ அடுத்த வாழை பத்தி அவளால கேர் பண்ண முடியல. அவங்க வந்து அவாவால நம்ம போகணும் 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 தன்னை பத்தி தான் கான்சென்ட்ரேட் பண்றாங்களே தவிர அடுத்த வாளுக்கு என்ன இருக்கு, அவளோட ஃபீலிங் என்ன, அவ இன்ஜூர் ஆயிருக்காளா, அதை பத்தி எல்லாம் அவ கேர் பண்றதே இல்லை. சோ அதனால என்ன ஆயிருது, இவர் என்ன முடிவு பண்றாரு, இவருக்கு ஒரு காம்படிஷன் இருக்கு இல்லையா, எதுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்றது, விஸ்டமுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்றதா, ஈகோ சப்போர்ட் பண்றதான்னு அவருக்கு தன்னோட பாடி கண்டிஷன் எவ்வளவு பாடி எப்படி இருக்கு, மத்தவா எப்படி விளையாடுறாங்கிறத பார்த்து சமயோஜிதமா எதுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்றாரு, விஸ்டம் ப்ருடன்ஸுக்கு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணிடுறாரு, ஈகோவுக்கு அவருக்கு இடம் கொடுக்கவே இல்லை. சரியா? அவர் எதுக்கு எப்படி சொல்றாரு? நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டான்ஸா பாரு. அவர் கை நம்ம வச்சு முட்டி கையை வச்சு நம்ம அடிக்கிறான்னு வச்சுக்கோ, கண்ணை அட்டாக் பண்றான். அப்ப கண்ணு வீங்கி இருக்கு, அந்த வீங்கின கண்ணு மேலே அவன் குத்துவான் பாக்ஸர். அவன் ஆல்ரெடி கண்ணுல அடிபட்டிருக்கே பாப்பான், ரொம்ப நீ வேணா ரெஸ்ட் எடுத்துன்னு கொஞ்ச நேரம் கழிச்சு விளையாடலாம்னு சொல்ல மாட்டான். ரெஃப்ரி ஸ்டாப் பண்ண சொல்ற வரைக்கும் அவன் அடிச்சுட்டே இருப்பான். இல்ல யார் ஜெயிக்கிறானோ அது வரைக்கும் அவன் அடிச்சுட்டே இருப்பான். அதை கேர் பண்ண மாட்டான். ஏன்னா அவனோட எய்ம் என்ன, அவன் வின் பண்ணுங்கிறதுதான். சோ அப்ப அவங்களுக்கு கால் உடைஞ்சதா, முட்டி உடைஞ்சதா, மணிக்கட்டுல அடிபட்டிருக்காங்கிறதெல்லாம் அவங்க மனசுல இருக்கவே இருக்காது. அவளா அது அபிஷியல் டம், அவளே வந்து என்ன பண்ணுவா, டாக்டர் இருக்காரா, பேஷண்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப முடியாம இருக்கானே, இமீடியட்டா அவன் அட்டன் பண்ணணும்னு அவளை டாக்டர் கொண்டு போற நிலைமை வரைக்கும் அவனோட சான்ஸ் அவன் பிரயோஜனப்படுத்திட்டே தான் இருக்கப்படும். சரியா? அப்ப அவர் நினைச்சுக்கிறாரு, அப்பாடா நம்ம அவரோட என்ன சொல்ற, நல்ல வேலை நம்ம இந்த சாதாரணமா உடம்பு இருக்கு, நமக்கு அவளை மாதிரி ஸ்ட்ராங்காவோட பாடி கிடையாது, அதனால நம்ம பிளேயர் ஆக முடியாது, இல்லைன்னு இந்த மாதிரி அடியெல்லாம் நம்மளும் அனுபவிச்சு ஆகணும், நம்ம என்ஜாய் பண்றதோட நம்ம நிறுத்திப்போம், நம்ம அந்த ஃபீல்டுக்குள்ள போக வேண்டாம், பிளே கிரவுண்டுக்குள்ள நம்மளால போக முடியாது, இல்லன்னு யாரும் இந்த மாதிரி அடி உதையெல்லாம் வாங்கிட்டு இருக்கிறது நம்ம பார்த்தாலே நம்ம திருப்தி பட்டுருவோம்னு சொல்றாரு. நெக்ஸ்ட் லாஸ்ட் ஆன்சர்ல என்ன சொல்றாரு, இந்த மாதிரி ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் வந்து அத்லீட்ஸ் அட்ரஸ் பண்றாரு. அட்ரஸ் பண்ணிட்டு என்ன சொல்றாரு, நான் உங்களுக்கோசரம் நான் செலிப்ரேட் பண்ணி நான் உங்களுக்கோசரம் நான் சாப்பிடுவேன், நீங்க ஜெயிச்சதுக்கு நான் டைன் பண்ணுவேன், நீ உங்களோட திறமை இருக்கு, உனக்கு அந்த மாதிரி டிக்கெட் ஜாஸ்தி பண்ணா கூட நான் பே பண்ணி நான் ரெடியா பாக்குறதுக்கு தயாரா இருக்கேன். ஆனா என்ன பண்றேன், நான் வந்து நீ அங்க போய் ஷைன் ஆடுற, எப்படி விளையாடுறேங்கிறத நான் சப்போர்ட் பண்றேனே தவிர உன்னோட என்னால விளையாட முடியாதுங்கிறத தெளிவா சொல்லுவேன். சோ லாஸ்ட்ல என்ன சொல்றாரு, ஏன்னா நீ வந்து பிளேயர், நீங்க எல்லாம் பிளேயர்ஸ், நான் வந்து ஒன்லியே ஸ்பெக்டேட்டர், நான் நானா இருக்கேன், நீங்க நீங்களா இருக்கு, நீங்க வந்து நானாக முடியாது, நான் வந்து நீங்களாக முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லி இந்த போயம் வந்து அது முடிச்சிருக்காரு. Now let us see the discussion questions from this poem. So question number 1, how does the poet establish the victory of common sense over ego? Question number 2, the poet does not wish to exchange his position with athletes. How does he justify his view? Question number 3, according to the poet, what contributes most to the injuries sustained by the athletes. So these are the discussion questions from this poem, The Confessions of a Born Spectator, written by Agdan. I hope you all have understood this poem clearly, and let us all meet in our next session. Thank you.